Assalamu alaikum. Today is 8th August 2025. Time is 16, and we will be trading TTWO. TTWO is in the news, and it has raised forward guidance, which makes it very interesting to trade. It has performed better than the disappointment that it was expected to give. So if you look at TWO plus 6%, shallower than expected loss per share. Net bookings beat and raised guidance. These are the other pre-market movers, but we liked TTWO the most. It's earnings seasons, and the market is giving us beautiful news like this and beautiful stocks to trade. If you look at the capital.com bite-sized daily US opening news, US equity futures are modestly firmer as price action stabilizes after Thursday's mixed performance. With small cap RTY showing mild outperformance. Why it matters: small cap strength suggests risk appetite rising and may signal broader market confidence ahead of potential policy or earnings catalyst. The other news is for APAC trades, European trade. Let's take a look at APAC. APAC equities were mixed following a muted US handover. Nikkei 225 briefly reclaimed the 42,000 level while the topics hit fresh record highs, supported by SoftBank earnings. ASX 200 was flat. Hang Seng and Shanghai Comp traded mixed amid tariff uncertainty. Why it matters: Japan's strength reflects optimism in corporate earnings and reduced US-Japanese trade friction, while China-Hong Kong remains sensitive to trade headlines and geopolitical risks. Then we have European news plus 0.2% with European markets trading modestly firmer and quiet news flow. Basic resources lead gains. Insurance underperforms due to Munich Re. Minus 8% post earnings. White matter sector leadership can guide traders on momentum themes, while Munich Re's drop weighs on sentiment for insurance names and hints at political repricing of sector earnings. Now let's go back and is that all the news we got today? I think that is all the news we got today. POTUS suggested that there will be no India tariff talks until things are resolved. Besant said China tariffs can be on the table at some point. Okay, interesting, I guess. Let's go through it one more time. US Trump suggested there will be no talk on Indian tariffs until they get things resolved. Not particularly interested in rest of the tariff news because it's not affecting the market. The one thing that is affecting the market is earnings. And if you look at the day ahead, it's saying Fed's Muzalem 2025 voter will speak on financial well-being in the banking. In the afternoon, Baker Hughes will release weekly rate count statistics. Today's CRA docket includes potential rating reviews from S&P on Switzerland, currently AAA Austria, AA plus, Denmark AAA, and Fitch and on the Czech Republic AA minus. Broker moves: Piton upgraded at Goldman Sachs, Apple downgraded at First Shanghai. And major morning moves recap: INTC, MSI, ACAM, TWLO, TTWO, TTD, EXPE, UAA, MNST, XYZ, GILD, EINS. Fed Board President Trump is nominating current chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, Stephen Miran, to fill a vacant Fed Reserve Board seat until January 31st, 2026. The nomination is expected to be temporary rather than positioning Miran as a successor to Chair Jerome Powell, and analysts said that the decision gives Trump time to decide on the next Fed chair, while potentially placing an ally at the central bank. US-China. The US FCC has approved new rules to speed up deployment and enhance the security of subsea data cables, citing threats from China. Interesting. So we don't. None of this is particularly important. If we look at TTWO's daily graph, we can see that there is one consolidation zone at from 219 to 225. I would say that is the area that volume is the lowest because this area is generally never traded. So we have one consolidation from 223 or 222, or let's just say 221. No, 223.12 all the way till 229.43. That is one consolidation zone. That is one of the areas where the stock likes to trade. And the second consolidation zone where the stock has traded towards the highs, these are the absolute highs that the stock has made, is from 237.42 to 244.39. So we can, if we had to estimate it, we can say from 235 or the area above 235, 236 to 245. So that's another $10 move there. Interesting. The stock consolidated in this area previously, failed this area, went back down to 220 consolidation zone, and then has today gapped up to this area. While okay, the plan today is to, before I discuss the plan, I want to show you the pre-market. The pre-market, my brother is, or we are placing in heavy importance to this area 240, where the stock has failed multiple times. Okay, the stock gapped up, went all the way till 244, which it instantly failed in the post market. Then it dropped back down to 232. 232 was held, and then the stock rallied to 240 thrice, and both and all three times 241, actually 240, 241 level area held. The sellers held their own, showing that committed sellers are present today. The buyers keep stepping up. They stepped up from 232 to 235 in the pre-market, and front ran 235 from 235.64 in the pre-market. So indicating that there is a combination of committed buyers and, well, not so desperate buyers. Since the stock is gapping up towards the near highs, we expect all four participants to be present, but we expect the dominant sellers to be a bit more overbearing on the desperate over the desperate buyers. We expect all four participants to be present, but we expect desperate buyers to be weaker than the desperate sellers. So we will be aiming for a short in the 241 area. If the stock ends up climbing higher, then we are going to aim for a short below 245. We'll quickly take a loss and then aim for a short below 245. If the stock drops from 241, 240 area down to 238 to 237, where we start seeing front running, where we are seeing buyers become impatient and try to step in, we are going to buy there because we expect some level of desperate buyers to be present today. So that is mostly going to be the plan. Try to short above 240 and try to long above 280 if desperate buyers are present. We still haven't confirmed the presence of desperate buyers. The two parties that are present for sure are committed sellers at 241 and committed buyers at 235. These are the two parties that are present. The rest lies on the shoulders of their commitment. If the sellers of 241 are strongly committed, then we expect some shorting there. And if 235 buyers are strongly committed, then we expect some front running there. So that is mostly going to be the plan. There can be another scenario where the buyers are desperate and they push up to 245, and then 245 temporarily holds, and then the stock breaks above 245. But we are not considering that scenario. We don't expect buyers to be this strong. If buyers are that strong, then all our planning has failed, and our judgment is based on the fact that the sellers are going to be a bit more desperate than the buyers, because the stock is trading towards the highs, and it's a good selling opportunity. The stock rose despite performing bad. Although it has rose its forward guidance, it will be a good opportunity for the buyers too, or for the stockholders to get out. So we have 3 minutes left into the market. I've already set everything up. This is where the stock will open in Sierra, in the 240 price area. If I had to go through the plan again, I would say that we are shorting at 241. Then if that breaks, then we are shorting again at 244.5 or 245, somewhere in that area. We are shorting all the way till 236. If we see front running at 238, we immediately go long. Till the highs that we can get, we will use trailing stop losses and chase those highs. That is the only plan that we will be following. I'm just gonna numb myself to only seeing this. Anything happens, it's not my concern. I hope that is the correct approach. And the market opens in 2 minutes. Let me just... Okay, 1 minute left into the market open, and I will again revise the plan. It's for my own sake. We short the stock above 240. and or in the 240 area, if and we put a stop loss. If that fails, if the stock tries to go higher, we try to take in another short in the 244 area. And even if we fake out, even if the stock fakes out, we try to go short again. We expect the buyers to show themselves at 238 at least, or 237, 236, in that area somewhere. So we will hold our position till there, where if we see desperate buyers, we will start going long. That is our plan, and the market opens in 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay. The stock opened, rose till there, and it's not showing any signs of movement. How would we judge front running at 238 here? The stock fell to 235, 234. The buyers are trying to step up at 234, but our reversal was supposed to be at 236 or above. So we will not trade a reversal here. Instead, we will aim for a short in this area. We will let the price recover if it does, and we will aim for a short. Price is not showing recovery. One thing I would like to correct is that we would have expected committed buyers if we saw the price hold 236. There was a condition I added which I forgot to add while we were making the plan, or while I was explaining the plan. Price did not hold 236, so I'm not exactly expecting desperate buyers. Just FYI. Uh, but bro, master planner you are, bro.
I made 140.
Yeah.
Like $2 straight, $1 straight, and I still made 140. What did I tell you, bro? 230, 240.
I thought it might go all the way up to 240 where I'll short.
Oh, hell no.
It stayed. I think I was supposed to take an aggressive market entry here.
मैंने यहाँ पे short किया, ठीक है? And then मैं यहाँ पे निकल गया. I made 70. Then I saw, I'm like, bro, it is not beating 238. It has to fall. Then I took another shot here.
Achha, again you went aggressive.
Again I went aggressive. Again I took a shot here, and then I got till here. But I had $2 spread, bro. What the fuck is $2 spread? ये क्या spread बोलते हैं? What is the spread?
1.35.
Yeah. So I was getting $2 spread, $1 spread. So $1 spread I was making 100. मैंने बंद किया, but I made 60. So originally I was making 170 instead of 140. $40 because
But how do I know I was supposed to take aggressive market entry here?
it's 238. It's not breaking 238.
It's not breaking 240.
No, we did. If there were, bro, we knew there were committed sellers. We knew there were committed buyers. Buyers are committed.
Actually,
they're not desperate. Okay. We know From this move, we got to know there are desperate sellers. Yeah, and when the committed
No,
buyers are
but there were no committed buyers, bro. There were no buyers.
no, but like buy, okay, even if there were no committed buyers, when the buyers are trying to buy, yeah, volume check करें, volume है,
तो कल का volume है,
किसका?
that is yesterday's volume.
मतलब फिर भी मतलब आज के हिसाब से volume है, okay? When the buyers are trying to buy and they're still not able to beat 238, you just know that the sellers are too dominant.
No, buyers never tried to buy, bro.
Buyers tried to buy for good 20 seconds. Those tried to buy.
No, it just stayed there because there was no activity. There's actually low inactivity stock. It just stays in position. I know it like stayed stuck.
Yeah. So I knew then it was gonna fall because a short 234 was there.
Yeah, 234 to go long. 230 से.
So, yeah.
No,
I made 140. You don't keep it up. Pre-market में ज़्यादा अच्छा spread नहीं रहता. Pre-market was getting $1 और ये बकवास rate था. $2.4, $3.3 तो वो चल गया next minute. Bro, I have $2 blue win. I shorted it 234, price 231 जा रहे हैं, and I'm going minus 30. I'm like, what the heck? The moment I saw 107, I'm like, yeah, this is the best I can get. Like, I was waiting for the spread to fall down. Yeah, and then I cancel and I check, I'm at 60. I'm like, eh, no.
I guess I'll stop the video here, bro.
So, what is setting? See, rising up. Yeah, but it got instantly brought down again. The moment it tried rising up. 7%. But why is supposed to be both stay committed? Green market में वही नजर आता है कि 236 से they're committed. 236 it's skyrocketed again.
No, that was just the spread acting up. The price never went and tested that area. Just like how 240 was tested now by the price going there multiple times. That did not happen to 235 to 236 area.
Yeah, actually, आपने भी करना था, but as like आपने 221 and 225 करना है. We are long till 235. Plus, like there's not much movement in Apple to make money. Yeah, I really wanted to do Apple.
Apple was beautiful.
Beautiful fall and beautiful also.
Mm.
Really wanted to do Apple.
This was even better TTW. Keeps falling. Now that it has broken 236, it is actually then it fell from it went hit 235 and then fell from there. But again, actually, not part of the plan.
Second part could have been part of the plan. It's not holding 236. It's dipping into 235. Then
oh, next time make the plan participant wise, man. Otherwise, I don't know what to do. That who the participants are, because a stock behaves completely different if like there's no commitment now. If there are committed buyers, then the stock will move entirely different. Even if there is absorption in this entire move, we don't see absorption anywhere. Spread is 65.
Same?
Yeah.
Price is
229, 230.
Good money.
Yeah.
I shot it 234. 65 is, you know,
that was not part of your plan, so it doesn't matter if you it needs to be part of your plan for it to matter. Otherwise, the move does not matter.
I mean, I shot it higher, but I didn't get entry in the stock.
Yeah.
I shot it 234.
Like just straight up look at the delta. Delta is negative everywhere. Even on the candles that it is rising, delta is negative. Even in this candle, now it became positive. But even this candle, delta is actually negative. Not by a lot, but it's still negative.
Actually, we stock traders, bro. We saw that $1 spread. We like, हाँ, ये sell a normal. चलो लोग actually trade करेंगे, कोई trading.
Low trade is some stocks move like this, man. It's because this thing is very low. The number of shares in the market, it's very low. For example, I think Nvidia has 10 billion shares. Tesla has 1 billion shares in the market. Nvidia. So a stock like this might not have those many shares in the market to be traded. Nvidia, you saw how liquid it became before. It was so illiquid. It used to give $1 spread and all. Now it became super liquid. Yeah.
What different used to move also that? used to move $70, $80 every day. So that
No, like 30, 40 it used to move, bro. Not every day. On some days it would, even now on some days it does. But mostly it would trade 30, 40, 15 sometimes, 15, 20 sometimes.
नहीं ले सकते $1 straight back. But $30, $40 move $1 straight not back. Because then
हाँ
जाते हैं.
हाँ, वही बात हो जाती है. But that means riskier also.
Rather you lose because against your son.
So
I do more of a pattern based analysis.
patterns fail, man.
They do.
Patterns. All the seasonal traders, they were all pattern traders. They none of them stayed in the market.
He wants to come back in the market.
None of them ended up staying up in the. I intend to stay in the market for as long as possible.
I do pattern, not solely pattern based. I do pattern based with people. Like now, what I do is I try to find pattern, and on top of that, I try to determine how the stock is moving. By that, I can determine what kind of people are there in the market. Based on that, I can like hold my shorts or hold my longs or end my shorts and end my longs.
No, but your people recognition has not been very
It's, so people have started doing more few days back. Because I was doing pattern only. I was not doing people.
participant recognition is the word. And I completely understand your pattern. It makes sense that in the current market the stock is trying to fall. But I've shown you previous case of the same stock that the stock rose and then it rose how many dollars? So the stock gapped up. Yeah, here the stock gapped up from 182 to 195 and it went all the way up till 213.
That is
$15 higher.
I'm sitting and watching, what's happening.
Today the opposite happened. The stock gapped up and it went down.
I'm sitting and watching that what kind of move is happening, what kind of people are there. If there are desperate sellers, the price should not gap up or it should not go up.
No, the first thing that how the planning should have been done is the first thing we saw that the committed sellers are present. We should have made plans for three different scenarios. First, the committed buyers, the plan that we actually made. Second, what if there are no committed buyers? That is what happened today. There were no committed buyers. That's why the stock straight fell from 337 to 229. So 237, yeah, I mean 238 area to 230. $8 basically. Why? Because there were no committed buyers. Forget desperate, there were no committed buyers. Uh, for every variable that is present in the pre-market that you cannot see, you need to make a plan for it. You expected committed buyers, but you traded as if they were not there, so it worked for you.
No, because I traded because remember I told you we are looking for desperate buyers and desperate.
Because you were saying that desperate buyers will come in only at 238, which I did not agree with. That part did not sit right with me. Because desperation does not come with consideration. You told that the stock will open, it will fall, and we will see front running at 238. Your plan actually, I was like watching the stock. I'm like, and I question myself when I'm watching the graph. So like the plan is front running at 238.
No,
What will
that
it
is
do?
continuation of the plan. Remember the first plan was
Again, nahi, Hamza, see, I want to try and understand the model of your plan. Your plan, because you're giving me the plan, okay? I'm watching the stock. I'm thinking it's at 238. It's continuation of the plan, but technically 238 can be said that is being front run because 238 was being held. If you look at the first minute, where is the first minute? If you yeah, this this is all I can see is that the area above 236 is being held. This is what I'm saying, right? And your condition satisfies that if this condition, if this condition happens, then you can go long. So I'm seeing like okay, the stock is opened now, and I expect that maybe the price should fall because the moment stock opened, I saw 14,000 buyers. 14,000 sellers. stock opened something like this. The stock went up and it failed this. ये starting में print हो गया था 42,000 sellers. I'm like, okay, the stock is showing that there are sellers here, but I am seeing that the stock opened above 236 and it's holding 236. So which of his conditions satisfy? Because these are two counter conditions, no?
In that case, बताऊँ क्या होता है?
So this no, the second condition was not supposed to be there because desperation doesn't come in with consideration. Desperation अगर होता, then this stock should have gone straight up.
Okay, in that case, I'll tell you what happened. Is you look at 238, where in 238 it's trading. Yeah, if it fell to 238 से थोड़ा सा नीचे, and then it is going up 238, yeah, that means that the buyers are holding it up. Okay, get it?
No, that can still mean that it has failed 240. The fact that it has failed 240 remains important. But the plan doesn't tell how important failing 240 is. Like, for example, there needs to be certain weight to the levels on.
No, see,
Yeah, you try first. What are you trying to say?
the price is at 238.2, let's say 238.2.
Okay.
And you're seeing people are trying to push the price up, yeah, to 238.5, 238.6, whatever.
Okay.
But the price keeps being shot down to 238.2, 238.1. Yeah.
You just said that the people are trying to push the price to 235. No, then how's it being shot down? Shot down to 238.
238.5.
I repeat from the start.
Price is at 238 profit. Okay, so 238.0
Okay.
or like 238.1.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you see that from 238, yeah, the price is what do you call going up to 238.5. Yeah. And then it's again being, short the 238.5 से वापस गिर रहा है. Yeah. फिर वापस उठ रहा है and this time it breaks even higher. It goes to 238.6 to 238.7. Yeah, that means buyers are there.
No, explain what category of buyers. Never ever say only buyers.
Committed buyers are there at 238.5 or desperate, since in this case we are going front running. Yeah, desperate buyers are there at 238. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you see that the price is at 238, yeah, buyers try to push the price. Yeah, but it only goes 238.1. मतलब ज़्यादा movement नहीं है price.
Effort is too much, movement is less.
Yeah, effort is too much, movement is less. That means sellers are more powerful.
That is so obvious, bro. In desperation versus commitment, commitment is stronger than desperation. Because desperation moves on some expectation that something will happen. Once they see that something is not happening, price not going higher, they give out. In desperation, commitment always wins. That is the law of commitment. That is like the rule of commitment. That commitment is always stronger than desperation, no matter how weak. The stock is at 225. You need to stop dropping your trades so early, bro.
I need to stop dropping my trades early, no?
Yeah.
Stop like that.
You need to hold your position.
And I keep stalling the head. बस buyers है ही नहीं क्या?
Yeah, so I went into like confusion when the stock opened 238. I'm like, is this a long or is this a short? I'm like, it opened and it stayed there, just bouncing above 236. That perfectly qualified your condition that this is showing that, but I'm like, I don't see any buyers. Yeah, it needs to be, for example, clear. Next time, no matter what, always make your plan participation wise. If you expect, if this is the kind of pattern you are seeing, then this pattern needs to be included in these category of sellers. If you're seeing this pattern again and again, इसका मतलब कि committed sellers and desperate sellers are there. You establish this.
You can't tell desperate sellers in the market. You can only tell desperate. I mean, you can tell in some wise, but in this thing, free market, we couldn't tell if they were desperate sellers. You could only tell after the market opened up.
Okay, then desperate sellers remain a variable, but we could have told that committed buyers still aren't tested. The committed buyers could only be tested when the price hits 236. So the plan needs to include the fact that if committed buyers are present, what happens? If committed buyers are not present, what happens?
Why we said committed buyers are present is because we did the volume analysis and then we saw the 236 volume है.
Huh?
Yeah, we did. डेली ग्राफ में मेरे जाके देखें, वेटेड वॉल्यूम एनालिसिस वी सॉ 236 पे वॉल्यूम है, कंसीडर amount of volume is,
No, not nahi.
and then
No, no, no. Listen to me. I want to clarify something. What we saw is that 236 is the lower end of the consolidation zone where the stock is consolidating. It is entirely just because it's an expected zone doesn't mean that we have seen that people are there. I expect this zone to be important. When I see movement at 236, I give more value to it compared to 237 or 238 or whatever. If I see 236 being held, I give value to it. But doesn't necessarily mean that 236 is the value that will hold. I want to see that people are paying attention to it. They say that don't try to recognize patterns in the market that nobody else can see. A pattern is only important if everybody else is seeing it too. You understand? Because if only you are seeing it, then it's pointless. So 236 is the level that I'm expecting everyone to focus on. You understand?
Yeah.
236 to 235 wala area. I expect everyone is paying attention to that area. And in the pre-market, what we wanted was that the sellers tried to move into 236, like sell into 236, and 236 being held. Then we could have seen that there is commitment. You understand? We did not see anything like this. The price just never went there, indicating that sellers did not want to sell there, indicating that they were committed at 240, which was the right plan, that they were committed at 240. So we did not know for desperate buyers. We did not know committed buyers, and both of these, desperation and commitment, you can tell by reading the news. You need to know how to properly read news.
Kind of knew because I could remember I told you we are inclined more towards a desperate sellers.
Yeah,
Desperate sellers, we kind of knew that it's going to happen. It was just a matter of time whether it's going to happen or not. And then it happened.
and a lot can be told from the news. Since for example, desperation will be there on the day when the news is suggesting that something big might happen. Today's news, I read through everything. There's absolutely nothing that suggests that something big can happen.
So Manila, something is happening. Peace is happening.
Yeah, I saw Musalam, the Fed guy.
What is he going to say?
Nothing. He's not important. Unless Powell is saying it, it's not important.
Good.
Everyone else gives their opinion. Powell gives decision and judgment, bro.
Good.
I think it's saying about charge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 80%.
Starting the plan, keep 238 per short.
You shouldn't have involved me in the planning process. That is the entire job.
No, because I didn't know. Starting, bro, plan tha. The only issues I softened up when you were like, bro, 240 is important. I was like, okay, then we can do it. 240, 241, we can short then. But the only reason why I shorted to 230 because in my mind was like, because my original plan was 238. So in my mind, it was like, okay, this is super nice. I didn't pay much attention to 41 because that was my first plan. It's not a good thing. It should be only one plan. During this channel. But yeah, that's why I did it. 230. But yeah, no, but I wanted to ask, like, what the fuck is this? Because I need help. Like, understanding something. Planning, I do. Understanding, I need to know.
Because we can tell, we can tell that the sellers were committed to 244, and the same sellers who were committed at 244, they became the desperate sellers of 235 or 236, the area where stock failed today. It went up till 235 and it was shot down severely. Those same sellers became desperate when they saw that there was no buyers present. They saw that the buyers are absent. They were committed. Again, it's something you need to understand, that a committed seller can become a desperate seller. Just because he was committed at a certain price doesn't mean that that is the only category he'll ever belong to. He can change at a different level, depending on what the market is saying. So one thing that I believe the reason the stock fell is people expected the buyers to be present. When those expectations were not met,
Even we expect buyers to be present.
everybody expected buyers to be present. That is why there should be a plan for everything.
First plan was actually really solid. 237 per stock.
No, the first plan was,
yeah, if buyers are present, because if buyers were present, the price had to move up.
Yeah. First plan was very nice if committed buyers were present.
No, actually, even if committed buyers are not present, we would have still made back. Because the stop loss was at 2.
If they were not present, then we plan for a completely different behavior. Then we are not planning for this behavior. Don't talk about that scenario now. Okay, if they were not present, then that is a different scenario, bro. Acha, that is what you're saying.
The first time accommodated both if they're present or not present. Because we are shorting, yeah. Because in the starting, my desperate sellers will come. I mean, it's because we are going heavy on the desperate seller side. Yeah. So we have to like not gamble, but we have to choose one side. Yeah. So we chose the desperate seller side compared to desperate buyers. Yeah. So we were like it's short and we put stop loss at 237. In case it falls, we know. In case the committed buyers are not there, which happened. And if committed buyers were there, it would rise up to 237 and whatnot, and they would go all the way. Which is what should happen if there were buyers. जो 238 पे फ्रंट रनिंग हुआ वही हुआ बट देयर वर नो बायर्स मतलब जो फ्रंट रनिंग मतलब 238 पे जो प्राइस रुका विद सेलर्स वर एक्सपेक्टिंग बायर्स टू कम नाउ सेलर्स वर लाइक ओके व्हाई वी सेलिंग नाउ लेट द बायर्स कम बायर्स विल कम सेलर्स विल गो दे नॉट कम ड्रॉप द
Then that second trade was also a very, very valid trade and a lot safer trade than the first one. Ideally, that is the kind of trade that we should be taking. The second one, the short at 235, that is a solid trade because that is a longer trade and that is and very confirmed trade. There is little to no risk in this trade. We should aim for less risk compared to more movement.
No, to be honest, the second trade also I took because of that. Because
No, again, we did not plan for it properly. Do not include it.
it's not like a plan, but it was like open text, so like you could have easily read it.
That is not the executor's job. It's not his job to try and figure out what the market is doing. His job is to follow the rules that are given to him. I feel like the more detached he is from how and what is happening, the cleaner his moves are. For example, my plan, you were playing aggressive, but I made the plan under the condition that the committed buyers are present, and if they are present, I want to short it 243 or 243 point sorry 240 244. That is the area I want to play. And that is what the committed sellers were expecting. What if these buyers are absent? So in that case, what you want is a reserve, because you want to understand, you want to minimize your risk as much as possible. I completely agree with the fact that okay, you can take a aggressive market entry at 238, but where is the point at which you can confidently say that your plan has failed? You need to define those levels, and you need to reduce your distance, because one of the biggest metric to measure a trader is not PNL, it's his drawdown, where he's putting his SL from his opening position. His opening position to his SL is a trader's skill. That is where his skill lies, because the closer that he can keep, the more winning trades he can take. 10 out of 10 trades, even if he fails 5 of them and he wins 5 of them, he still has made insane money. In this situation, you win, for example, 5 of them, you lose 5 of them, you have lost double of what you've made. So it's slightly risky and it affects this thing. In this case, it would have been very, very beautiful. 235. It came swept into 235 so nicely. 235 we knew was one of those levels that everyone is paying attention to. We should have planned that these committed sellers of 244 will become desperate sellers at 235. Why? Because that means the consolidation zone has failed.
This 235 level, yeah. Why I was taking stop loss is at 237 is that if it breaks 236, yeah, and it goes to 235, I know it's gonna fall like a bit. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I put stop loss over there because 237. If it breaks, then I get.
Yeah, no, I remember telling that you want to bring your stop loss lower.
Yeah.
You want to bring your stop loss at 237 and leave it.
Yeah,
because it might break. So this was something under your expectation.
This was
Then you should have you should have just done it using the market participant. That is why I've given you the entire logic, bro.
It's easier to not like मुझे ऐसे समझ में ज़्यादा अच्छे से आता है. How do I explain it?
No, you need to be able to see, to know that you have understood something clearly. You should be able to explain it clearly. Because if you can't explain it clearly, then it's not even clear in your head.
Take a bit of time, but 2 months I need for that.
This committed and desperation logic, why I've made it so that we have a medium to measure. Generally, I have the idea in my head. I know what to do. But to be able to understand the concept, that is the entire point of commitment and desperation and everything. It's a medium that we both can have a common ground on and talk on. I'm just using the concepts that I've always used in a more like clarified form. That's it. And if you go and break the medium and you try to make your own rules, then I will not be able to understand what you're trying to say.
That's why the natural thing. Because this, like,
Because you keep bringing up the pattern. I completely get the pattern, but if suppose today was a day where
it's just like
I know,
like I can't explain why. I guess because I believe in desperate sellers more. Yeah.
and you are allowed to, but what you do is that you are supposed to say that based on what the pattern that we are seeing, we expect both committed and desperate sellers to be present. We mark it as a fact. Whenever any stock is gapping up, we are seeing committed and desperate sellers. Based on what has happened previously, we say this, and then you start planning. You add that as an assumption based on what has happened previously. You get it wrong 3 times in a row. 3 times you saw that okay, this pattern is not being accepted in the market anymore. Then you stop using this pattern until it's working. You use that is fair, but to say that it will happen because it has previously happened is not correct.
It has nothing to do with previously happened. It's just the structure.
No, again, that structure can change based on committed and desperate buyers. Because how the plan was actually made was that we expected all 4 participants. You told that all 4 participants are there.
Can be there.
No, you said will be there. No. You said will be there, and I showed you, bro. This is what it says for all 4 participants present.
And then we waited out.
No, and then you said that that sellers, we all 4 participants are there, but we expect desperate sellers, to be more dominant than desperate buyers, and that is exactly what I've said in my planning part. Is that all 4 participants will be there, but we expect desperate sellers to be um, uh, dominant over the desperate buyers. So we will try to take yani cautious entry. We won't be just like, because all 4 participants are there. In that case, it's a cautious entry trade. It's not an aggressive market entry. Absent is, bro, aggressive. It's close your eyes and sell. Why sell?
Maybe expected.
But we could have traded 235 absent, and then we could have shorted all the way till 222 where it's trading right now. That was very very beautiful trade, I would say. Slightly delayed, but very very beautiful.
335 was in my this thing. But to be honest, I closed my this thing because I was not getting any spread. The moment I saw 60 cent spread, I cancelled my trade right there. Because the spread was just too high. If the spread was normal, I would have let it run. But the spread was just too high. Actually, the spread being so high also gives an indicator that there are buyers.
No. That completely depends on the volume, man. No, I mean volume. I'm saying depending on the number of stocks, the liquidity, the how much stock is being traded, kitna stock, how much stock is there available in the market. If there are not too many stocks available, it will be like less liquid. Okay, I'll just